Go for it.
Okay, and then if I can hit the tell a little bird and it will tweet it out to my followers.
Yes. Now that I got my screen online, I can do that.
Oh, this is
joining us, Scott.
Hi, I just barged in on you guys.
Do you have wet hair also?
Should I go wet my hair?
Yeah. It's the wet hair group today.
I just got a new puppy, as you guys know, so he might be barking. Hey, he's gonna bark in the background.
That was quite timely.
But we can. Ashley, I was impressed with your subject, blogging in business. I'm gonna shut the blinds so he doesn't bark at everybody. He's a tour of my house, apparently. But Ashley, I'm interested to hear what you would like for us to talk about.
Oh, yes. I've got a whole list here. One sec, let me pull it up. So I pulled some of the questions that I've gotten from my group.
And is this is your Blog Genesis group?
Uh-huh.
The Facebook group?
Facebook group, yes. And most of these are coming from bloggers talking about strategies, but they apply to obviously business or blogging. So I didn't want to eliminate people that are, looking for that maybe are not necessarily a blogger. So one of the questions was, what are the best strategies for finding viral worthy or content that people want to read, that people want to look for, whether they actually go viral or not, but finding really good content?
This is an unfair question for us because our product does it.
That's true.
As you know, Ashley, I don't know if you use Sharist for the research portion, but share inside Sharist, which is the content marketing platform that Scott created and founded and is the all-powerful owner of. There's a research tab, and within the research tab, you can set up an RSS feed reader of all of the influencers whose items you want to share. So if you write about, like Ashley, on one of your blogs, you write about DIY stuff. If you thought of, the most important people in that industry, and you could put their blog in there. So you're sharing the top individual stuff. After you've done that a few times, after you've added stuff into your inbox within Sharist, there's a content recommendation tool that kicks in. And what's so great about it is it not only matches the content that you're adding into your inbox, but it matches the content you're adding with content that's already trending on social media. So it's stuff that's already become popular. So if you share it, it's going to get a big response.
Where's it pulling that from? Maybe Scott can answer that better.
There's a number of different places where you can pull content from. Most people use just set up their own RSS feeds. Or you can,
the content recommendation part.
That's what you're asking about, right?
Yes.
Or you can connect a number of different services, like Feedly was something we added recently. So if you set up all your feeds in Feedly, and so the RSS part of Sharist is a lot like Feedly or Google Reader, but Feedly is a million times better because that's just what they do. And so you can use Feedly to discover lots of feeds as well as add your own. And there's new features in there with collaborating with people on feed lists and that sort of thing. So, so once you connect up some sources like that, then your research tab in Sharist will constantly be full of that stuff. You can also connect things like your Instagram account or Flickr account, and also use different search tools.
So is it actually going out and pulling in content outside of just an RSS feed that I put in, like other people, like content that I'm not aware of yet?
Sorry, Scott, she's not asking about the RSS part. She's asking, where is the content recommendation tool? Where's it finding its content?
Which content recommendation tool? You're talking about Sway?
Recommended content?
Sway's gone.
What? What?
Slay, the recommendation thing is gone. It's been gone for a month. So, yeah. If that's what you're asking.
Okay, so outside of that, you would enter in RSS feeds for the types of searches that you would be interested in or that would relate to your blog.
Mm-hmm.
And then it would make recommendations based off of it. You're kind of cutting out, Ashley. You're a little bit pixelated on my end, at least. I don't know.
Yeah, you keep freezing on mine.
Scott looks, his looks fine to me. Okay, so that's what you use.
But some of what I just said is not the case anymore.
Okay. Okay, cool. Well, I will share what I do as well. Really, my biggest strategy for finding content that is viral worthy is Pinterest. So I go onto Pinterest and I search for a given topic and I look for pins that have been pinned like 50 million times. And then I try to either create content around that topic or that type of topic. So if it's a listicle or if it's a, curated content or that kind of thing, when you go on there, you start to see trends of the types of content that is getting shared on Pinterest. And, most likely if it's getting shared millions of times on Pinterest, it's something that people are interested in. So that's
I'm just going to add a little bit in there. I look a lot at the Facebook trending items. And so I will try and, if there's any way to incorporate those trending items into my content, if it makes sense to, then I'll put one of those hashtags on there. And then anything, I don't use the trending on Twitter as much, but that's one way that you could find what everybody's talking about to get involved in that really popular conversation.
Question for you on that. Have you ever been able to take advantage of the trending topics on Twitter and actually get some of your content to show up in that feed?
Yes, and on Facebook. So
I'm talking on Facebook specifically. I tried to do that yesterday. There was a article that went viral. What's that?
Facebook?
On Facebook.
Yeah.
There was an article that went viral. I tried to use all the same hashtags, the same everything, and my post wasn't anywhere. And I had more shares and comments and likes than a lot of the other people. So
it was one of those topics that's over there in Facebook trending.
In the top right corner where it says trending.
Yeah, like right.
It was highly relevant to one of my blogs. So I was like, okay, I'm going to write a blog post about this.
And it didn't work.
And I'm going to get it to come up in that feed and get like a ton of traffic to it. And I monitored it like throughout the whole day and nothing ever, I got my regular traffic, but it never appeared in the trending results.
Oh, So yeah, when you use that the hashtag of the specific trending item, like right now Uber is trending. So if I did hashtag Uber, then it would, when somebody clicked on that trending item, it would appear in the stream.
On Facebook?
Mm-hmm.
Because on this one, it was not a specific hashtag. It was just like a news story that was trending.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I shouldn't say hashtag. So I would tag Uber.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I did. So I don't know. It was a IKEA hack. And so it fit with my DIY blog, and it was like a dad built this crazy awesome.
Test that.
Yeah, I was like, I'm going to come up with this perfect way to show up in the Facebook trending, and I was going to do all the right things, and it never showed up. So I was like, okay, so much for that.
Let's test that.
Yeah, exactly. So.
It's where lots of sites like BuzzFeed get their content that goes viral or gets really popular is by trolling sites like Reddit.
Yes.
So, there's a topic area in Reddit or subreddit, they call it, for everything. And, you should follow the ones that are relevant to your topic or your blog or your industry.
Is the content, I'm not as familiar. I've gone on there a couple times and I find for myself really hard to navigate. Are they pulling in content from other sources, or anything that's trending on Reddit is specifically users have added it to Reddit?
No, Reddit is just Reddit users.
Okay.
And it's an incredible community of people who just post pictures and stuff in there, and it's it's a certain type of content. So depending on the sometimes it's news type stuff that kind of people curate there and talk about. Others, a lot of things are people posting pictures and funny stuff, and a lot of it is kind of funny, snarky stuff. And so that's what BuzzFeed is all about. So they find a lot of content there, and so it's a good place to keep an eye on.
I will say that across the board with all of the businesses that I've worked on social for, if I ever have, if my engagement is low, I feel like it's so cheesy, but posting quotes always gets that engagement back up. People love Facebook? Quotes on all social media. So on Twitter, so you post or tweeting an image with a quote.
An image with a quote. Okay.
Tweeting a quote. And on Facebook, tweeting an image with a quote. You know where there'll be like a cool scenery background and then a quote. I don't know what it is, but people love sharing quotes all over the place. So
you just go to Pinterest or Bing image search and search for like baseball quote or
memes
or whatever, and you'll just find marketing quote or anything, just something quote, and you'll find thousands of quotes to share.
I find the same recently with video, posting videos where you actually embed the YouTube embed code or whatever, where it can play through Facebook. That getting a lot of clicks as well. What's that?
It's shared a lot?
Yes. Because it's just an easy, quick play. So I don't know if it's, I know on Facebook, I believe they have to actually turn the volume off for it to be considered a click or a click, like
turn the volume on.
Right. Yeah. Did I say off?
Yeah.
Turn the volume on. Those are good ideas. Anything else? Viral worthy topics? I think we kind of covered that. Let's see. The next question was, how do I make money from a blog? Nice, easy, simple question to answer, right?
I'm trying really hard not to just jump in and answer everything, though.
Do it.
Okay.
Let's say give like your top 3 ways to do it, because I'm sure there's like a million ways to do it. But like, what are the ways you would do it, or you not would do it, but the ways you do it?
The things that it kind of depends on is how much traffic you have. Like Scott and I are working on I keep saying Scott and I's blogs. They're totally Scott's blogs. I just like to think that I have some ownership in them. But if it has a ton of traffic, then people are going to approach you about advertising on your blog, especially if you have a really selective niche that matches up with their product. So that's an awesome way, is just advertising. Obviously, the more traffic you have, the more you're going to make doing that. So Scott, I was just saying this to Ashley earlier, Scott, that you're really great at building communities around your blogs. And so if you have taken the time to build up a community, it's a great opportunity for advertisement. The second way I would do it is, this isn't true, I'm saving the first for last, but another way I would do it is Google AdWords. So I would put, now they have where you can put a picture in the middle of your post. So halfway down, there's an ad there. And
AdSense.
Oh, sorry, AdSense. Google AdSense. So it used to be, you'd have those little blue links in your sidebar and nobody would necessarily click on them. But now they have so many more. I just made myself sound old, huh? Because that was a long time ago. But now they have such creative ways that you can put Google ads in the middle of your post or at the end of your post, or the banner on top. I tend to stay away from banners, but you can do them. And then the third way is affiliate marketing. So there's so many options about this. If you are a blogger about recipes and you're talking about 10 crockpot recipes, starting off the blog by saying, I've tried these 3 crock pots and the 4th one was the one that changed my life. Here's a link to it. And, disclosing that properly, but adding in those affiliate links, not just, hey, here's 10 crock pot recipes and here's a link to a crock pot, but sharing your opinion about it so that you are continuing to build community, letting them know that you, get reimbursed for sharing your opinion about it. But that's probably the top way that I try to earn money on blogs. This Phyllis just joined, and she is runs social media manager school, and her product is my absolute favorite to be an affiliate for. So that's.
I was gonna say, don't you have a story about making a lot of money off of something? I don't know. Was it that one?
Yeah. So Phyllis,
okay.
we talked recently. I'm writing a white paper about, or I guess I can call it a white paper about how I made $1,000 off of one Facebook post. And it was because I've spent time cultivating that social media community, or people who want to learn to be a social media manager from home. And I just posted a link to Andrea Vall and Phyllis both do social media manager school. And I told people that if they enrolled in the school, that I would pick 2 names of people that enrolled and pay for half of their school. So, yeah, it took, I think within, I can't remember if it was a day or a couple hours, but I ended up earning $1,000 from just that post. So if you're taking the time to build that community, then when you recommend something, people respond.
That's awesome. What's that?
I was just reading what she said. And so many people learned a new skill. I did talk in the post about when maybe a year and a half ago, my sister was in the school, and it's been life-changing for her. So I probably mentioned that as well in the post. Okay, Scott, your turn to answer. I talked for too long.
Well, those are the methods. Or the places where you can earn money, ads and AdSense and affiliate marketing. But when you think about making money on a blog, you can't just put ads on a blog. They won't work. You won't make money. You can't just put product links in a post. That won't work. In order to have a successful blog, you can't just put links or posts about products, unless you have a very specific type of blog that's like you do product reviews and you get your hands on products and you can do a lot of great posts about products. That's a great way to earn money on a blog if you have a blog like that. But if you just have a regular blog like most people do, which is not selling stuff, which is not talking about things that people want to buy mostly, that's good because you're talking about things that are interesting to people and you're building a community. But you shouldn't try to sell stuff on those pages. That's not the place to do it. People aren't going to buy, and it's just going to be frustrating. So what you need to do is create places where people will come to that post interested in buying something. And so if it's a post which is a list of products, like maybe your favorite products, and you don't feel great about making a blog post about that because normally your blog posts are not selling stuff or talking about products, you can put a page on your blog, which is your top 10 products that you like to use. And related to, whatever it is you do, like that recipe blog. You're not going to be wanting to, putting a bunch of posts about crock pots or putting links to crock pots. But if you made a post, which is your 10 favorite cooking appliances, and it was off in a page, not a post in your blog, that'll be found by search engines, not pushed out in your RSS feed as like a blog post, right? So if you can start to build content like that, so get your audience in with good content, and make money by putting product-related posts kind of over to the side where search engines will find it. And people will find these things when they are searching for those things. The thing to do with the content that you're creating that people are reading on a daily basis that you're creating is not to push products on them, but to get them to subscribe to your blog and subscribe to your social media, get them to subscribe to email. And then you can promote the money-making stuff to that email list. And as well as get search engine traffic to that product stuff. So I think people maybe try to push too hard to try to get, hey buddy, you're on the air.
We got an open seat here. He can come take a panel spot.
A Blab account?
So, I think that's something that people tend to miss the point on, which is, the right and wrong place to put product type affiliate links. Is not your everyday interesting content. You're gonna ask for you're gonna ask to spend money on an iPhone app. I'm on the internet.
Because I think, Scott, this is really
a credit card.
This is really interesting to me because I think you and I have a different opinion on that, and I don't think I realized that until just now. But I do tend to, in the really interesting posts. So when I've worked with bloggers, if they have a post without a product in it, I shouldn't say I feel like that's a wasted post, because sometimes that's fine. I just don't think, I think there's a way to put a product in every post without being pushy. Especially if your readers' expectations are that you're providing this entertaining content or this informational content or whatever for free, and this is the way you earn your money. So I do, like if I did a top 10 crockpot recipes, I wouldn't just throw a link in there to a crockpot, but I would say, and by the way, when you try these recipes, I've tried so many different crockpots, or I haven't had to replace my crockpot for 10 years, and this is what I use. Or my crockpot has 6 features, here it is. I would
and that's fine.
In there.
Actually, I think that's totally fine to put a link to your crockpot in your post, but that's not going to make a lot of money.
Well,
that blog post is going to go out to your audience, and people are going to read it when you post it. People are going to find it when they're looking for a crockpot recipe. They're not looking to buy a crockpot. So yeah, you might get a few sales on that, but the real money comes in when people are in a buying mood and they're searching on Google for best crockpot, and they're not going to find that in your post with 10 crockpot recipes. They're going to find that in a post that is reviewing crockpots, talking about crockpots.
So I think that
Google traffic.
I think that I was thinking of it from more of a, hey, I'm a blogger and I want to make a couple $100 extra a month, and how could I do that? You're thinking of it as a business. So I focus more on building that community and then bringing products to them that they'd be interested in. I should disclaim this by saying Scott has made a heck of a lot more money than me online. So if that's your goal, you should be listening to him. He's getting organic traffic, and I focus on just bringing interesting things to the communities I've built.
I think both.
I think everything you do should be trying to convert something.
Right.
If that's a crockpot, fine. I don't think that's going to convert very well. To me, that should more be on your everyday stuff. Should be getting an email address, and then you own that person, and you can talk to them and bring them back, and then you can send your post about crockpots to that entire list and make money doing that.
I think I'm just thinking more of the people that think, oh, I have this cooking blog that's my hobby. How can I make a little extra money on it? So
what I said.
Can we let Phyllis hop in the open seat? She said,
yeah, she can just click in on that.
Phyllis, are you interested in hopping in now? Oh, you did it already.
Yep.
So we'll see if she. Hi, Phyllis.
Hi. How's it going?
You don't have wet hair.
Thanks for joining us.
I just I'm in work mode here, so no makeup, no hair. Sorry.
That's me. Yeah, us too.
That's the name of the game today. So I have
the Wet Hair Club.
That's great. So I have this system that I do. It's called Follow the Funnel, Model the Process, right? So you follow the funnel that someone else has done, and then you model their process. And one that I really like a lot is the way Phyllis Khare uses to go from Instagram to her blog for a giveaway. But the whole blog post is her personal experience with it. It's her story. It's a giveaway, and it's an email capture program. And that funnel of amazingly personal Instagram image that goes to the blog, that tells a story, that has a giveaway to build her email, is a lovely funnel to use in blogging, because I'm getting information that I need. I'm also getting an opportunity that I would like, and I don't mind giving away my email to be in the running for, some high-end $800 blender or something that I would like to have. But that funnel of going from Instagram to the blog post with a story, with an email capture or a giveaway, is to my mind, just a fine use of being a blogger. Now, if she didn't tell her story, or if she didn't give extra content that's interesting to me, then that to me is not a good use of the blog system. I hope that makes sense. That that not just to use a blog post to capture email and give away or contests, but to expand my understanding about a particular topic.
Can you repeat the steps of the funnel, or the 1, 2, 3, 4?
Sure. So the Instagram image is a personal experience of hers. Like, hey guys, this is, I can't remember exactly. I have a link of the whole funnel, but basically it's a personal image of her with link in the bio. Mm-hmm. Link in the bio goes to the blog post. Now, in the blog post, she tells her story of, when she started blending, when she uses smoothies, when she uses juices, what's the difference, why she would use one over the other, all the equipment that she's used through time. This is the one she recommends. And then I have one to give away. Enter the email and be in the running for it. Now, if I had just been brought to her blog post just for the giveaway, mm-hmm. without the story, without the extra content, I wouldn't be promoting this funnel at all, because I don't think, I just don't think that's a good use of a blog. It's more of a promotion and it's not a blog post. But if you add content that's helpful to people, mm-hmm. whether or not they enter the contest, then that's a good use of it. Wow. And I have to say that there are many of these funnels set up that are hosted on the blog from Instagram, and there's lots of variations on this, but that's just the basic one. Did that make sense to you guys?
Yeah, I have a question for you on that. Have you seen it in play? Like, you've seen her Instagram account and seen the follow through. So after you're on her list, what then is the funnel or the sales cycle that she takes you through to actually monetize? Yeah.
Well, with Phyllis Khare in particular, her business model seems to be launches. So she's not continually promoting something. She usually has a book coming out, or she has a particular program coming out. So it seems to be in waves. So I don't get regular emails from her constantly building her other programs.
Okay.
But when she does, the way she does it, not everybody does it this way, but the way she does it, she waits till she has a promotion, and then she sends out.
Okay.
A thing like that.
So she's promoting through courses and like higher learning type, for people that are within that niche.
Yeah.
So not so much like advertising on her blog or anything like that.
No. And the thing about Chris is she has a very tight market. She has a very tight niche. She knows exactly who she's talking to. She has a very defined brand. And she seems to stay very true to that, like that. But there are other people. I mean, this whole idea of business funnels and how people are using social to move people along in their business funnel is, it's one of the most fascinating parts of online marketing to me. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I think it's really interesting as we're talking. It's very interesting to hear the different demographics that we each serve. So, I almost called you Django. So Scott Django is talking about people who are just looking for that organic traffic and not necessarily maybe building community, but not necessarily. Phyllis, mm-hmm. You're talking more about people who, or at least the first suggestion you made, you were talking more about people who want to teach, so people who want to instruct, and so they're instructing in different ways. And I was mm-hmm. talking about more casual bloggers who just want to make a little bit of extra money on their blog. So it's really interesting to hear the different ways that different demographics can do that.
It's interesting. Back in 2010, I got put on a list of the top 10 social media bloggers, and I laughed and I was like, no, I'm not a blogger. I'm a marketer. And I got real like, what? No, because to me, back in 2010, blogging was more about
like a personal diary.
Yeah, like journaling and opinions and curating content and being helpful to the community. And since 2010, I think what has happened is there are different types of blogging. There's promotional blogging. And, I don't even know if I would use the word blogging for people who only post when they're promoting. I don't think I would use the word blogging for that. But so that's why in 2010 I laughed, because I was like, no, I'm not a blogger. I'm a promoter. And anytime I wrote on my blog, it was, yes, I gave a tremendous amount of information, and I taught, and I gave away a lot of stuff, but it was part of a funnel to open up a product.
I should mention, for those of you that are listening that don't know Phyllis, she literally wrote the book on.
They're right back there, actually.
For Facebook.
I'm a dummy.
So, it's always fun to point that out.
Yeah.
She wrote the dummies.
That's awesome.
It's a smart.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I'm happy to give up the seat for anybody else who has an opinion to talk about this. But I love Blabs, and I love jumping in, and.
We initially intended for this just to be kind of a practice lab, and that's why we have wet hair on here and didn't take it very seriously. And it's learning a lot. This is really cool.
It's sometimes I if I have a day that I should be working but I need a break, I'll just go blab hopping, and you just go.
That's awesome.
To the blab, and you go visit all the blabs and talk to everybody. It's sort of like our coffee shop. It's the way that online people get together and say hi and stuff. So.
Totally.
Well, thank you for coming to our blog.
You're welcome to stay on, or if anybody else, wants to join in. I know Vinny had a really good point here.
Yeah, I was going to.
As we're talking about the different strategies. Oh, sorry, my dog is barking.
To get on the blog. If you're. Oh, he's waking my dog up. Okay with jumping on, then we can add you in there, and you can talk about your strategy.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Ashley, do you need to add him, or does he have to request it?
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Are you there, Vinny? Oh, Vinny doesn't do blabs.
Oh, Vinny doesn't want to jump on.
No.
Oh, okay. We can mute. Can I mute myself, Phyllis? No. Okay, perfect. I'm
not.
Well, Vinny's comment here was just that he's got a community of 34,000 loyal readers. So when he makes a recommendation, half of them buy. So he sells 10 to 15,000 of the item recommended, which is pretty amazing. I mean, that should be a goal, obviously, for everybody. I mean, getting to that point, I think, is the challenge. Having that large of a community that's actually listening to what you have to say and, ready to act on it.
Vinny, is that your photography blog? I'll just see if he types a response to that.
Okay. Cadillac.
I didn't.
Like as in cars?
I didn't even know.
Like Cadillac cars?
Scott, do you know the answer to
car parts?
Yeah, I don't really know what Vinny's.
That's a really cool niche.
I had no idea.
Talk about like a niche.
To paraphrase what Vinny was saying, I think, he was making the point that he does, 10 informational posts before he'll do an ask for, which is to sell something. And it's kind of the thing that we talk about a lot on social media, which is give 4 times before you take. And it's the same thing here. The give is informational posts and interesting stuff and fun stuff and educational or whatever people come to you for. The take is selling something, asking somebody to do something, and keeping a healthy ratio of gives and takes it applies to blogging as well as social media.
I'm still reading what Vinny's talking
about. Formats and hubcaps.
So Vinny, you don't actually have like your own e-commerce store. You're just like pushing content and building the community, and then when something comes up, you make a recommendation.
Yeah,
oh, affiliate links. Okay, that's awesome. And is your community on your website, or is it through like Facebook or a social media channel?
We gotta get Vinny.
We need to like put like a cartoon character of him that you can hold up.
The best part is Vinny's accent, so I wish.
Email list and Facebook. Okay, awesome.
Vinny lives in New York, and he sounds like
a New Yorker. We need to get the Boston guy on here, the guy that was like caught that fish or whatever.
Yeah.
Or Scott, I'm sure you could bring up the.
Do you have other questions?
Yes.
It's so interesting. I would love to hear more about what Phyllis does with her educational funnel too at some point. But she was talking about doing what you do. How, Ashley, you didn't answer that. How would you monetize a blog, because you are also a teacher?
Yeah. So I guess it depends on whether you're like a service-oriented provider, blogger, where you provide services to people, or if you're just purely like a content generator. So I have a blog that's in like the DIY niche. It's like home decor and like do-it-yourself kind of stuff. And in that niche, it's really hard to. So I do a little bit of what Ashley, like what you were talking about, where I'll go and I'll take, my top posts, and I'll go in and I'll every now and then just look through them and make sure that there's, if there's any spot where I can kind of put in an affiliate link or that sort of thing. I will do that as sort of just a passive income generation. Like Scott said, it's not going to like pay the bills.
Right.
But it's something that you can do once and then kind of forget about it. And if every now and then you make, a couple bucks, then great. And I do try to do like what Phyllis said, whereas really building a story around it. So like adding in a personal narrative to the recommendation so that it's not just like, hey, check out this great like recipe and then go buy this crock pot, like where you can like take a picture of you with it and be like, this is the most amazing thing I've ever seen, and kind of add some personality to it. Like that tends to help. When you're not in a content-based scenario where you're offering services, or it could be both. There's no reason that it has to be one or the other, but with two of my, one is kind of more service oriented, where I'm working with bloggers on strategies to grow their blogs and make money. That is more of a service-based, content type. And with that, it really is more of the teaching, the kind of looking at the business as more of a media, not a media provider, but ways that you can take things to the next level and not just look at yourself as like, a personal blogger, but like a newspaper. What would a newspaper do? They're selling advertising. They are bringing in maybe people to interview, or, as far as when it comes to monetization, then that looks like, ebooks, online courses, hosting workshops, webinars, webinar weekends, or not webinar weekend, but like a workshop weekend, like what's the word? The conference. I'm like, you guys go to them all the time. Right. Things like that kind of elevate your whole brand really to another level, so that people aren't just seeing you as a blogger, but you are kind of this provider where they can consume your content, not just on a blog, but in a book, or through video, or through audio courses, or, whatever. So that's one of my things that I encourage people, is to like think of themselves beyond just someone that sits and tells a little personal narrative on a blog post. It's like, okay, you are a business owner. Like, let's take this to the next level and think about, if you were writing the same story, but for a business, for a media company, for a newspaper, how would we position this in a way that would set you up as an authority, or allow you to create some kind of other income generation from it, whether it be a course or, there's a lot of bloggers. One of the things I see within just the content marketing niche is bloggers that get their own TV shows. Mm-hmm. Now that is like obviously a huge stretch. Not everybody's going to have that happen, but you're not going to get to that level if you're just like thinking of yourself as like just writing little personal stories. So,
and this can happen in any niche. So this is Joe.
Hi, Joe.
But this can happen in any niche. So if you, Joe just gave me the perfect idea. If you write about sports all the time, you have the ability to provide content and earn money on it in a way that you wouldn't think of, by teaching things, by having the book or the ebook or the podcast or any of those things. And it's easy to think, well, I'm just blogging for my entertainment, or I just blog about my kids, or I just, blog about organization. But there's everybody. If you're blogging, if you feel like you have something to say, then it's something that you have that other people don't have. And oh geez, I'm taking myself down a bad road, because maybe people aren't interested in you. But if they are, there's a way to do it. So, Joe, the question we're answering right now has to do with. Well, do we want to jump to the next question?
I mean, we can. Joe wants to jump in here. We're talking about monetizing a blog and really just different strategies. Obviously there's it depends on kind of the type of market, but I think Vinny's example is the perfect example. He could have been someone that just started out with a Cadillac, a website about cars. Let's just say he's a car lover. He builds a website about cars and he's I have no idea how I'm going to make money from this. I can't sell cars with affiliate links. I can maybe put up some ads or whatever, but instead he built a community around it of people that are obsessed with Cadillacs, and builds trust through that community. And then now when he sends out one email, he gets 15,000 people buying, whatever he recommends. So I think that's a great example of, I hear people all the time oh, I'm a mommy blogger. Oh, I'm a recipe or a cooking blogger or whatever. I can't make money that way. And,
is that Vinny? Because he sells 2 to 5. Joe, first of all, do you know Vinny had a Cadillac blog?
That's awesome.
Oh,
$40 each.
$40 each.
Are
Cadillac.
these
Nice.
Cadillacs that you own? No, he resells them or affiliate links on eBay. That's hilarious. Sorry, I think someone walked in the door. Joe, do you want to add anything?
I think a lot of it is just finding out what your readers are passionate about and what they enjoy, and giving them those products. Like in our market, I mean, obviously sports fans are passionate. They love their teams. They love their players, and getting specific products in front of them is what we see work. I mean, just a general banner, just a general text link to a merchant, those are pretty worthless. But if you can find a specific product, like if you have a cooking blog, your readers like certain kinds of spices or organic spices, find an organic spice merchant and send them some organic oregano or whatever. So just find the products that resonate with your audience and push those as hard as you can.
Yeah, so Joe's coming at it from more of that product focused, or not product, but maybe hobby focused or interest focused blog. Scott brought up really focusing on building blog posts with lists that will gain organic traffic.
Yep.
And Ashley was talking about doing educational pieces. Sort of. That's sort of what you're talking about, but several platforms. Now I can go to the next question.
Let's see. So the next one was, what are your top 3 biggest resources or tools as a blogger or business owner?
I still feel funny answering.
Crickets.
Before we get into another question, I have to jump off, guys.
Soccer practice?
Thanks, Scott. We'll talk about you now.
Okay.
We just lost some listeners because Scott's leaving. Bye, Scott.
They're all like, see ya.
The reason I hesitated to answer that is, again, because I work for a company that provides a service for bloggers, and it makes my life so easy. So Scott's product, Terrorist.
Here, wait. I will talk about it because I don't work for them. So I have no conflict of interest.
Okay. I just wanted to say that they're focusing more on, but I was telling Scott this morning, please do not take the blogging portion of it out, because I don't think I can remember how to post directly to WordPress anymore, or I only use Shares. Okay, go ahead, Ashley.
Okay, so Sharist is one of mine. And he has built, so Scott, who just left the call, is the founder of Sharist. And it's basically a tool If you're familiar with like Meet Edgar or Post Planner or some of those types of services, it's very much like that, except like times 100. The features that it includes are a lot, but really, I use it for my Facebook groups for scheduling content that's going out to my Facebook groups. You got him back in there.
Sorry about that.
And they've made a lot of really awesome changes in the last year or 6 months even, where there are like repeating options. So I can create a post in one of my groups. Every Monday we talk about what our goals are for the week. So every Monday I schedule the same post to appear in that group. What's really awesome for bloggers, and I'm actually doing a case study on this. A month ago, I took a brand new Facebook fan page that I have, and I scheduled, 8 shares a day on Facebook. I found content through Pinterest and other resources, and I scheduled 8 shares a day for the entire month. So it ended up being like 200 some shares. And I wanted to see how the strategy of sharing more frequently on Facebook, whether that had a positive or negative impact on my overall follower count, my engagement, that sort of thing. And so I will be I'm going to be wrapping that up. Actually, like tomorrow will be when what's today? The 1st. So it was the 2nd. So tomorrow is when I'm going to kind of wrap up like the final end of that case study. But it has made a huge impact. I will just say that.
Interesting, because I think a lot of businesses or bloggers would think 8 times a day is going to irritate people, so you would start to lose followers. I don't ever talk to a business owner or a blogger that would say, yeah, 8's good. So I'm really excited to see the results of that.
The thing is, Facebook is sharing so little of my content with people that the amount of people that are seeing like even 50% of those is very small. It's like my mom, because she on everything. My mom and my mother-in-law, I think, are the only ones. But for the rest of them that they engage, like, here and there, they're not seeing all those posts. And there's a couple of big-time bloggers that use the same strategy, and they were able to grow really huge followings in short amount of time using the same strategy. So that was kind of my case study, or my test, was to see, how that would go. And I think to some extent it might be a better strategy with like I started out with a really small Facebook fan page. I mean, it was like a month old and it had like 200 fans. So
is it a DIY page?
No, it's my the Crave. It's cooking and recipe page. Right. So if you guys want to check it out, you can go see it there. It's the Crave with a K. And I've been doing a lot of shares, and the engagement is still down. It's not where it should be, but we only have 200 followers, or we had 200 followers. I think we're up to like 320 or 350 now. So it almost doubled in a month, which it was not growing very quickly. So
that's interesting to me, because I'm a fan of the page, and I see maybe one post a week, so it's interesting.
Well, there you go. So I've been posting almost and that's the awesome thing about Sharist. I literally sat down one day for 2 hours and I scheduled like 200 shares, and then I was done. And it just like goes for the whole month. And then the coolest thing, it has the recycle feature, which is like what Meet Edgar has, where 2 months from now, all those shares are going to repeat again. So once I go like 2 or 3 months doing this strategy, I'm literally done, and it can just like run itself. You know what I mean? Because every 60 days, it's recycling. It will run itself forever. And I can still go in and add new content and reshare new content, and it pushes everything back. But that, and the fact that they were just approved for the Pinterest API. So they're going to be, I believe if Scott can, get it all figured out, they're going to be soon getting the Pinterest sharing within it as well. So we don't have to, use a separate service for Pinterest scheduling as well as other social. So that's my little spiel on Sharist. So,
and I use it you use it primarily for the social scheduling. I use it to do my research of what I'm going to share, do the social scheduling, and then I turn all of that content into a blog post, a curated blog post, and then a newsletter. So I can publish directly to WordPress from it, and I can publish directly to my newsletter service from it. So I never have to leave Sharist. I can do all of my research, social, blogging, and newsletter straight from there. So it's great.
Awesome.
Joe, you're a Sharist user too, aren't you?
No, I'm not. I should be.
Put you on the spot here.
I should be. Yeah. I
do you use any scheduling things like that, or
I don't go through actual affiliate sites and real sites anymore. That
I was thinking of what Joe thinks.
Oh, I just write on there once a year or so.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like I said, not enough. I don't have enough to really make use of something like that. From what I hear, it sounds great though. So I wish I had more sites to use it on.
Oh, Vinny, it's so easy. I'll show you how. Edgar, you just mentioned Buffer is cool. I don't happen to use Buffer because Sharist has all of those capabilities. The only time I used Buffer was when Sharist did not have access to Google Plus, and I wanted to post to Google Plus, but clearly Google Plus is not critical anymore.
Edgar, I have to tell you one story about IFTTT. I also use that or have used that before. I had one account where I synced up my Twitter account through IFTTT. And maybe it was my system, so I could just be like giving it a bad rap but within 2 minutes of me syncing it with IFTTT, if this then that for people that are not familiar, my Twitter account was hacked and I had over 20,000 posts to like a Islamic website on my Twitter account, and I tried to work with Twitter for like 2 weeks to get them removed because it would have taken me like 10 years to manually go in and delete them all. And I had to, in the end up deactivating my Twitter account because there was no way to get rid of them. So that's my only thing with IFTTT. I don't know. It could have been me, but ever since then, I'm like, I don't know. I was heard some stuff about that as well. So I just was very the security with it. I was not certain was all that good. So
the other tool that I use a lot is Hootsuite. So I manage, I don't know right now, maybe 6 different Twitter accounts. And I think it's really valuable to be able to just click between each of them and see. So inside Hootsuite, I will follow specific hashtags. So if for one of the Twitter accounts I'm managing, if there's a conference going on, then I'll find that conference's hashtag and I can follow just that hashtag, and I can have different ones for each of my different Twitter feeds. So I don't use all of Hootsuite's items because they're mostly in shares, but that is the one thing that I do like about Hootsuite.
Awesome.
Well, look, we're getting applause.
Are we? Yay. I was going to say the only other ones I have on here, I use Pinterest a lot. Like I was saying earlier in the call, I use Pinterest to find viral content. So, which I could also use, like Scott was mentioning, BuzzFeed and some others. It's just the type of users that I often connect with hang out on Pinterest. So that's where I go. I do a lot of videos, so I use ScreenFlow and PicMonkey for graphics because I am not. What's that?
You do such an awesome job with graphics on PicMonkey.
Oh, PicMonkey is my favorite. I could just go on about it, but Joe, do you have any cool tools that you use for blogging or websites or what that you use in your day-to-day stuff?
I don't really. Like I said, I don't have a ton of affiliate sites. I work with hundreds of affiliates, and I get to see kind of some of the things they're doing. And I mean, we run the gamut from bloggers to Facebook-only people to the coupon and deal sites and everything. And it seems like the ones that are effective they're just good content creators overall. And I'm not sure exactly what tools they're using to do that and how they automate it, but any tool that can help you make quality content, whether that's compelling images or text or videos or whatever it may be, as long as the content is there, the eyeballs are going to come eventually, somehow, somewhere. And it's not a short-term play; it's a long-term play. Sometimes it takes months or years to actually get the content where you need it. But the ones that are effective are the ones that take the time to do it right and take the time to put into creating something of their own and not just regurgitating something from somebody else.
Ashley, you said something when you were just talking. I don't know if I would consider it necessarily a tool, but Facebook groups have been huge for me lately. So it's really huge to, it's an awesome way to build community, and they can get irritating really fast. So you have to take it with or approach it with caution, but that's one of my favorite tools right now. So with each of the, and it's fun for me to see a lot of the people here are in several of the Facebook groups that I run, but different, like we have a Shares Customers group where we support each other and give each other ideas. And, you know, there's all these, I'm in a group that is just called Tweet This For Me, and we all support each other and tweet each other's articles. And anytime I have, anytime I'm attempting to build a community with a blog, I start a Facebook group. And I invite those core evangelists in to just provide support, because people naturally do end up wanting to help each other. And so Facebook groups is probably my favorite tool right now. In fact, I think that was the article I did a while back for Social Media Examiner, was talking about Facebook groups as a tool and how you can use that as a really strong community builder. Manage?
Totally.
No. Oh, that's a great question. I manage a blog, very successful in views, over 40,000. No one follows by email. Help.
What, very successful. In views, you mean page views? Is that 40,000 per month, per day, per hour?
I'd also ask what you're using for an email capture. If you have a, one of the things we use, so this is a question. One of the tools that both Ashley and I love, and I'm sure Joe does too, is Opt-in Monster. And so it's a pop-up, but it's it pops up only when somebody's trying to leave your page, so it doesn't continue to pop up if they're really interested in what they're reading. And then we do a giveaway with that pop-up. So it might be, you know, here's a white paper on. It just completely depends on what the subject of your blog is. But a lot of times, Ashley and I'll give away webinars or
opt-in. I'll put a link in here.
Opt-in Monster. You better be using your affiliate link for that, Ashley.
Oh, yeah.
This is one of the ways that you make money, because you're providing all this content.
What is it? Yeah.
So, but Opt-in Monster is awesome. It's founded by one of our friends, and he provides really great support, and it's just an awesome company. So try that out. Put together
The other thing that it does, not just triggering on exit intent, but it also, you can set it to trigger at a specific scroll. So you can trigger it to pop when a user has consumed 50% of your content or gone to the bottom of the page. My little bug isn't fertility related. Okay, gotcha. I would definitely, for that type of a topic, there are setting up a newsletter. And by newsletter, I don't mean, I don't know if you're on WordPress, but what you want to be careful is that you're not collecting RSS subscribers, but you're collecting actual email addresses. And the best recommendation is to use a service like GetResponse or MailChimp or Aweber or somebody like that. But you can also, there are plugins that will allow you to send from WordPress as well. You don't want to be using Jetpack, which, not collecting anything. You don't want to use Jetpack, which is like an RSS subscription service. When you do that, you're not actually getting ownership, not ownership, that's the wrong word, but you're not collecting emails. So you want to get set up with a service like GetResponse, MailChimp. MailChimp is a good one that a lot of people start with because they're free up to, I think, 1,000 users.
500.
500, okay. And you can then, if you're running a blog, which I think you said you are, you can take your RSS feed from your blog and use that as your newsletter. So you can sync that in with MailChimp so that it why collect emails.
Wait, can I answer that? I'm going to jump in and answer that. So, I feel weird just saying fertility expert. So fertility expert, I don't know your name, but it's all about, I know Ashley was kind of hesitant. Oh, is that pronounced Elena or Helena? Like, you can't tell me about this. I don't know how you could tell me. So anyway, Ashley kind of shied away from using the word ownership, but it really is a matter of ownership. So if you think about your audience on Facebook or your audience that's coming to you organically, you are renting somebody else's property. So when you communicate with your audience through Facebook, if any of you have been in business a couple of years, you remember that one December, January when Facebook changed everything. And our engagement went from, 50% down to 1%. So they can make changes at any time that can prevent you from getting a hold of your audience. So did Google. So if you were getting all of your audience through organic traffic, then when panda and penguin and hummingbird and all those different animals, when those things happened, you were able to lose your traffic. Email is the one place where you will always be able to get a hold of your audience, and you're not renting somebody else's property. So if you're writing compelling emails, there's nothing that can change that will prevent you from getting to those people. So it's really important we talk about it, the difference between renting versus ownership. It's very important to own your property rather than just renting it. And
I shied away from it because I didn't want to say like I own your email address, but
no, you own,
it sounds,
your attention.
You own the right to email them. They've given you the right to email them, and you own a method of instant traffic. Mm-hmm. So if no one's coming to your blog, I mean, think about the amount of time and effort you put into getting someone to your site. So getting traffic to your site is huge. Like, we put a lot of effort into writing a blog post, marketing it, putting it out on social media. If all of those people then go to your blog, read a post for a few minutes, and then they leave, all that time and effort and really like manpower money, the money that it took to get them there is gone because they read your content and they left. They didn't subscribe. So especially with the type of content you're producing, people want to, it's not just like, I want to read, assumed in the process of fertility. So, building that relationship with them and kind of establishing yourself as an expert is huge when it comes to, getting people to come back. Looks like we have someone that wants to talk here.
I just want to point out, while you're letting him join, actually, I want to point out something Vinny said. One thing I always put on my newsletter, collection spots, is I just let people know that my best content comes out through my newsletter. So Vinny mentioned, let people know that they'll get special coupons if they're on your newsletter, or they'll get special that your readers will not receive. You can you almost bribe them in a way by saying, okay, in order to download this really great white paper, I wrote, sign up with your email address here. But then in addition to that, let them know, if you stay on my email list, you're going to get, sorry, I'm half reading and half talking. If you're on my email list, you're going to get content that my typical blog readers will not receive.
Yeah. And just kind of a cautionary tale from my past experience as a full-time affiliate. I had, starting in about 2002, I started building sites, and I had dozens of sites in the same niche. Never collected a single email address the whole time I was doing it. It's one of those things I look back on and wish I did, because when I woke up in November in, I think, 2012, Google had killed most of my sites, and I had nothing left. If I had an email, I could have had thousands and thousands of people on an email list, targeted people that I could have emailed and still been making sales.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, be collecting emails as much as you can. Be collecting some way to keep those customers at yours and not just give them away.
It's never too early. Never. Yeah. I get that question all the time. Like, well, I just started it. Like, I shouldn't, shouldn't I wait until I have X amount of visitors? And I'm like, no, like, it's never too early to start that.
I was thinking when Joe, along with what you said, one of the when I was talking early on during this lab about an old site of Scott's that we're getting going again. He literally has not touched this site for 2 years. He quit messing with it when it disappeared on organic searches. Mm-hmm. He still has an email list of over 100,000 people. We were just able to email out and re-engage those people. So
that's awesome.
Obviously some people unsubscribe because they haven't heard a peep in 2 years, but it was really amazing to be able to just get that community.
Take a site that you thought was dead and totally bring it back to life because you have a huge email list.
Yeah.
And it's instant sales there too, I'm sure.
Exactly.
I mean, that day,
right?
Ticker started going.
Right.
We've been going for an hour and 15 minutes. Do you want to wrap it up, Ashley, or you want to?
Yeah. Why don't we? Does anyone else have any last minute questions? I've got more here, and we can schedule that for like next week or whatever. I think we're going to try to make this a regular thing, or at least I would like to, if we can get Ashley on there as well.
Do you want to aim for Thursdays at 1:30?
Sure.
Oh, wait,
that works for me.
My time.
Yeah.
Mountain time, so it's different in each time zone. Joe, we'd love to have you back too, especially when we're talking about.
It's totally like open floor, so anyone is welcome to come in and grab a seat.
I'll hop in whenever I can.
Great, and pretty soon. So, Vinny, I am going to get you on the Blab at some point. So maybe next week or something.
We'll make you a sign you can hold up.
Yeah, just a draw, like a stick,
like a happy face, like.
Yeah.
Or we'll come on here with all three of us with like a picture of his face with like.
Yeah.
So no one will know which one's him.
Well, one thing we could do next week too is if we have this open seat, then we could have people log on to have 5 minutes of questions with us. So,
right.
When fertility expert, when you're asking questions, it'd be helpful for us to get that immediate feed or the answers from you without watching for you to type. So maybe we can have people jump on. So. Ashley and I both showed up with sopping wet hair today. So
we'll call it the Wet Hair Club.
Yes. No makeup and wet hair. Then
I didn't get the memo on that.
Probably be pretty easy.
You wear makeup too, Joe. So.
Always.
Yeah. All right. Well, Ashley, I'll let you wrap it up then.
Sorry, I was just going through and make sure there was no other questions here. Looks like we're pretty good.
Oh, so Vinny just said send an email about the next Blab. Vinny, we decided to do this probably 10 minutes before the Blab started. We were texting each other and we were like, hey, let's just hop on and chat. And that's how we ended up there. Oh, I'm glad he tweeted about that. So next week we will.
I think if you follow Ashley or I on or both of us on Blab here, you'll get a notification when we schedule it. So, and if you want to go to Ashley's website or mine and subscribe via email, we'll also send an email. I'll put my my website in the.
And mine, if you see my name right there, it's Ashley B. Coombe. My website is just ashleybcoombe.com. I'll type that in there also.
I'll put mine in the chat also. Mine is just bloggenesis.com. So you can also subscribe there. We will send out an email before the thing or just follow us on Blab and you'll get the notification as well.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you guys for coming on. Thank you. Is it Helena? I don't know if I'm saying that right. That was a good question though.
You do like a little dance to say goodbye?
Me?
We need a little wrap it up song.
Yeah. I will let you sing that.
Wrapping it up. Okay.
I'll let you sing that.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Right, thanks.
Thank you.